policies should be implemented in order to fulfill your vision on the future and to mitigate the risk stemming from the challenges you mentioned?
Well, as I was saying, one thing is if we get back to the three issues, one issue is data. So we need to get to foster the culture of data. We need to foster the area of data science and big data. So in the sense of the use of unstructured data and the use of all data that can be gathered from participatory platforms, from the passive observation of social networks, from satellite, GPS, etc. So this is something that where we need the agencies and the funding agencies and the decision makers to help the community to share those data, create a culture of integration of those data that in many cases is not present at the moment. And we work with obstacles because from time to time we as researchers are asked a huge price to just work with those data, although we do a service to the community. The second part is the theory. So we need to have a coherent program that allow us to develop those mathematical tools, those new vision on complex systems, to get a deeper and deeper understanding, a foundational understanding of the systems, and transform, and provide the community the means to transform that foundational understanding into practical computational tools. And then the third issue is that we need the community to foster the dialogue between the policymakers and the scientists. That means to have, first of all, a full interdisciplinary approach where there is not just the interdisciplinary of the scientific areas. That, of course, is very important for the two first issues. So data scientists, computer scientists, physicists, statisticians, epidemiologists, medical doctors, but as well, bring into this loop the policymakers, bring into this loop the decision makers, the stakeholders of the problem of diseases and disease burden in the world. I imagine this actually extending beyond what is infectious diseases in general, but create something that is even more larger than that is tackling global health issues. And global health issues is not just transmissible diseases or infectious diseases, but also many other health burden. And of course, the last point is probably the trickier, because it's why we have the tools to foster scientific project and to foster interdisciplinary project. Now more and more, the European community created all these tools to create interdisciplinary teams around the theme through research projects, and in the United States there are similar initiatives. It's more complicated to find a way to really have scientific projects and or research project that combines the different world, the scientific world with the policy making world. And this is where we need to make an extra effort. This is where we really need to create a situation in which agencies and all the stakeholders that may be even private, may be companies, really get together on scientific issues or on infrastructural issues like, okay, let's create, as we did, for instance, for weather forecast, infrastructure centers that, take on those issues and where there is this constant dialogue among all the stakeholders.
Okay. Do you think that the Futurum platform it's a good exercise in order to present the views of the scientists in a comprehensible way to the public and to sensibilize the policymakers to those issues?
I think those kind of platforms are crucial. So those kind of the science we do at this point need to reach the public. And this is, of course, in the first place an outreach effort from the scientists. That we don't have to be in our ivory towers and doing our work, but as well we need those things to be enabled. And a platform like Futurium enables us to speak to the people and speak to the policymakers, to the stakeholders of the problem we are tackling. And so this is something that I would say is invaluable at the moment. It's really something that is the ignition point to tackle on those issues we were discussing before.
Okay.